just getting over a bit of a head cold, and I'm calling it a spiritual cold. Have you ever heard of that, where you're going through a transition and you somehow, you overwhelm yourself with the changes that are going on, and then all of a sudden you go down. I haven't quite gone down, because of course I'm a bit of a battler. I'm trying to keep going. But it's like this morning when I woke up, I thought, my voice is, I'm really having to work towards clearing the voice, clearing the throat. And today when I asked Christine if I could bring my Tibetan singing bowls, and she said yes. When I used a pendulum, the heart chakra bowl and the throat chakra bowl were the ones that my pendulum said to bring. So maybe it's not just for me to help open my throat, but maybe it's for some of you here that are also experiencing something that you feel you need to communicate. Now, usually when I do a talk, I prepare in advance, and Spirit was saying, you're just going to have to wait till you get there. I had a general idea of what I wanted to talk about. As I was saying, I'm going through a transition, and I'm in the process of getting my house ready for sale. And that's a big thing, because when I moved to Lilydale back in 2008, I brought my 3 children with me. I separated and divorced from my husband. It was a whole new life beginning for me, and for my family as well. And when I set up my healing business there in Lilydale, I established myself there, and now the time has come for me to move again. Now, I've always had a dream, and I love the song that you chose, Christine, The Rose, because it talks about if you don't realise your dream, if you don't move towards it, now life can really challenge you, and you're not fulfilling your full potential. And we all came with a potential, and we came with a chart. We came with wherever the stars were aligned in the sky at the moment of your birth. I have been studying astrology over the last 6 months, just because I'm a proverbial student and love to learn more and more about what makes us tick and why are we here, or why are we all here during this time of evolution and change. Because many of us, I'm sure, have been questioning, this is a hard road we're travelling down at the moment. There is so much unrest in terms of structures that are now starting to dismantle, that have been in place for thousands of years, where the power up is now going to start to crumble away, and the power will start to come from bottom up. It will start to come from the people deciding to come into communities such as this and to support each other. We're going to move more into the energy of Aquarius, or the age of Aquarius, which is calling us to realise our potential, our true gifts, our goals, and to then support and be in service to each other in community. And I realised there was a sense of disappointment I felt earlier this week in terms of, I just don't think many people are waking up. I don't think enough people are realising what is occurring in the world, and that they take everything that they see as face value. Whatever shows up on the media and in the news, they take that as gospel. And yet you and I that are here today know that there's so much more. I was selling one of my antiques this week because I'm going to be redecorating, and I have this 1920s blackwood, Australian blackwood sideboard, beautiful piece of furniture that was sitting in the entrance to my house. I bought that sideboard when I was younger, maybe 23, 24, when I was going out with my then boyfriend, who then became my husband. That sideboard has travelled with me to 4 houses. It moved into the house I was currently living in at that time with my sister. Then I moved into the house that I built with my husband. And then it's moved to about 2 rentals in between until it's settled in the house that I'm currently in Lilydale. And I felt that it was time to let it go, because it's not really matching the theme of, the current trend of furniture. Bright, white etc. And I went through that phase back then where I loved antiques. And I still have a few little antiques around the place. But this one, it was time to let that go. And it was hard to actually sell it because, you know, the new trend today is to put your whatever you're wanting to sell onto Marketplace on Facebook, if you happen to be on that. And then I got a scammer or two, and then people that were just not legitimately interested, they just wanted to waste my time. But finally, I trusted that the universe would send me the right people that would love and appreciate this beautiful piece of furniture. And so a beautiful couple about my age arrived and they picked it up, and I said, "Are you going to be selling it?" And the lady said, "No, my partner lives in another house and he admired the sideboard I have in my house and he would like a piece just like it, and I found you on Marketplace and here it is. Would you like $100 for it?" I said, "Okay." I wanted more than that, but I knew that this is the age where people don't necessarily appreciate the old antiques so much anymore. So then I had a chat with them, and then she looked over it, and they were dismantling it. They could take the mirror off. And when she went to look at the cupboards and the drawers to see if they opened, and they all did, everything was beautiful. I had looked after that piece of furniture. She realised that the old antique key was still in one of the cupboards. And she said, "Oh my God, you've got the key. You've got the key still with this furniture." Remembering, this is a 100-year-old piece of furniture. And I said, "You know what, I lost that key for years. And the cupboards were staying open because I couldn't lock them. And when I was under the house, starting to pack a lot of things away and give things away, I found the key, just happened to be sitting in one of these random boxes." And so she was so appreciative. And so I thought about the key. And when I was emptying out that sideboard, I had a whole heap of keys. Random keys to, who knows, cars, other cupboards. And I said, "I don't even know where half these keys belong." I was actually going to bring one to show you because I felt that the message today might be about the key. And I actually asked my son, and my daughter-in-law came to visit me this morning with my newest grandchild. And I said to them, they asked me, "What's the topic going to be about your talk?" And I said, "Well, I want to get a quote about the key." And my son said, "Well, why don't you do your own quote? Why don't you write your own quote?" I said, that's a good idea. And then he sat there and thought about it, and he made up a quote in his own head. Now, he's not terribly spiritually minded, none of my kids are, but they accept what I do and they appreciate what I'm doing. And he said, "Here you go, Mum. What about when you open yourself to spirituality, you open the key to your happiness?" You might be surprised I remembered that. I thought that's very apt. I like that. And I thought about the key. We're all looking for the keys to success, to happiness. And really, the key resides in who we decide we realise we are. Because the first step, or the first key to realising happiness, is discovering who you are on the inside. And I've been studying Chinese medicine and facing birth date readings for many years now. And as I said, I'm studying astrology to help me understand even more about what makes us tick, why we came into the world with the certain patterns of personality that we came in with. And so the key does reside in realising our true purpose, our true calling, of which every single person here has one. And when you find your true purpose, your calling, and it doesn't have to be the work you do, it can be just in the way you are, then you find your sense of fulfillment. Then you find that key to happiness. And happiness doesn't have to come from dancing and singing, although that's what fills my soul, but it can just come from a sense of deep contentment. And I love the word that Christine shared earlier, commitment. We actually do have to make a commitment to finding that reason why we're here. I went to the movies with girlfriends last night to see the movie about John Barnum. Anybody seen that movie? Go see it. It's very inspirational, and I've seen John Barnum in concert a number of times when he was returning, return concerts after he said he'd retired. And he's a man that he found his vocation, he found his voice very early on, but then people didn't accept him because they stereotyped him for being the guy that sings Sadie the Cleaning Lady. But that was when he was not in his power. He sang that song that was written and the music was created, and then they got him to get up and sing it. But he didn't write that song, and it was only later on, many years later, that he decided he wanted to share his voice from his true self. He found his power, and go see the movie because it's very inspirational. And this is what we all need to recognise. When we find our sense of power, we find our voice. Interestingly, that today I had trouble with my voice. And Christine was saying earlier that, when she first realised she had to get up and do a public presentation, that was a real struggle. Well, it was for me too, and it's taken me maybe nearly 20 years to gain the confidence to actually get up here now and talk to you without the quotes. The cards are sitting there. But as I said, as we start to accept and appreciate who we really are, we can then become and radiate out who we are without the need for props or for other inspiration. It comes from within, inspiration in spirit, that spirit that resides within. So I'm letting her speak. I'm letting her drop the words in and channel through me. And as I look into your eyes and I look into your faces, it's that part of me that's connecting with you, with your beautiful soul, with your beautiful spirit. And that's why we're all here, isn't it? So I'm hoping my disappointment that I felt earlier this week will evolve and change into curiosity, surprise, when we see more and more people gathering together such as this, and listening and working together towards a whole new world as we evolve into a whole new human and let go of all the old things that we thought made us who we are. That sideboard that I let go of, when it went out the door, I nearly cried, and then I stopped myself, which was probably not a good thing, but I was grieving the loss of who I was. I was a young girl with dreams, marrying my boyfriend, who I thought I'd be married to for life. That didn't happen. Spirit had other plans for me. And I also remembered that everything has energy, and that sideboard saw so many things. It saw all the happy moments, and it saw the sad moments as well. But now it's gone on to new owners that will hopefully love and appreciate it as much as I did. So today, I brought my singing bowls with me. That's enough prattle from me while my voice is hanging out. And I want to share with you what I realise inspires me to share my voice, and that's sound. Sound in terms of sound healing, music. I love dancing, but I'm not going to get up and dance in front of you. That's probably not the right place. But I will share my bowls with you in terms of how sound can take us to a place that's deep within inside of us. I have many oracle decks at home, and I did go to choose one, but I actually chose one on my phone. They're beautiful cards, and the card that actually came up and said, whatever you're dealing with today, don't forget to go back to your practice of meditation. Because meditation is what really supported me when I was a young mum and struggling with 3 children, and also going through all the ups and downs that I went through, and when I was on my spiritual journey to where I am now and to where I am evolving to. So it was a good reminder to say, whatever you're doing now, just stop. Stop and breathe and just listen. And I'd like to just share just a very brief sound healing for you, if you're all open to that. And I'll keep the microphone close because who knows when the voice will stop. So I invite you to all just gently close your eyes for a moment and allow your ears to open but also allow your heart to open as well. And I'm cheating because I brought other instruments as well. That doesn't sound like a singing bowl, does it? And just find a beautiful space now in your heart. And find that beautiful pinpoint of light that you're now inviting to open up. And now focus on the energy of your heart and feel that light expanding. And allow this energy and the vibration of the heart chakra bowl to open and expand your heart even further. This is where your soul resides. And if your soul could communicate with you right now, what would your soul say? And it's from our heart and our true calling, our true purpose resides. And it's from our heart to the throat chakra, where we are able to voice that passion, that calling, that dream, that desire, that love. From this beautiful space that you feel in your body now, gently bring your awareness back and know that as your heart and your voice has opened up, we're now welcoming Spirit, our loved ones, to merge together with us. And I will finish on one little quote. Speaking your truth is singing the song of your soul.
Thank you. See, some people are still in that beautiful space. What can we say? That is just amazing and beautiful. And if you're like me, you want to come back from that, please thank Francis very, very much. Francis does many other things as well too, so if you'd like to catch up with her afterwards, I'm sure she'd be happy to talk to you, and does meditations for the VSU, runs sessions, so please catch up with her afterwards as well.